Hello everyone, and welcome back to the second episode of our Transport Fever 2 playthrough. In the last episode, we built a fuel production line to supply the city of Biddeford. Today, we'll focus on expanding that production line to boost profits even further. So, without wasting any time, let's dive right in. In the previous episode, we started small with just one train and a single tank car. But now that we've built up some funds, it's time to step things up by adding more cars and even additional trains. Let's start by adding 5 more tank cars to our train. This upgrade will boost its capacity from carrying just 7 units of fuel to an impressive 42. The train was heading back to Biddeford with just 7 units of fuel, so I decided to send it back to the station to fill it up to maximum capacity. Now that our trains will be delivering more fuel, a single horse-drawn carriage won't be able to handle the load. So, let's go ahead and add a couple more to keep things running smoothly. I'm going to let the game run for a few minutes. Once we've earned enough money, we'll move on to upgrading the tracks. Alright, we've earned over $2 million. That should be more than enough to double track the entire section. Let's get started. Now that the entire section is double-tracked, we can run multiple trains on this line. But before we do that, we need to make the tracks one-way. To achieve this, we'll place one-way signals at regular intervals along the route. With the signaling all set up, it's time to add a second train to the line. As we can see, since the new train is occupying the track section, the old train will now wait just before the signal until the track is clear. Our initial 3 ships aren't quite enough to handle the oil output, so let's add 2 more to the fleet and increase our capacity. Bideford is currently demanding only 65 units of fuel, and we're successfully meeting that demand. However, for the fuel refinery to upgrade to the next level, we need to deliver at least 75 units. This means we'll need to focus on increasing Bideford's population to raise its demand for fuel. In this game, increasing a city's population can be achieved in 3 ways: supplying the city with its required goods to meet demand, establishing passenger transport connections to nearby cities to boost connectivity, or setting up internal transportation lines, such as buses or trams, to improve mobility within the city. Since our city is still small, we'll start by creating a passenger loop within the city. This line will have stops in key areas, improving connectivity between the residential, commercial, and industrial zones. With the passenger line now set up, we'll add 7 stagecoaches to the line to ensure efficient transportation across the city. Let's add 2 more trains onto our line. Now, we've got a total of 4 trains running on this fuel production line, maximizing efficiency and output. As the years go by, new locomotives and vehicles become available in the market. Recently, the Russian Class T Type 1 locomotive has been introduced. It offers more speed and power compared to the current locomotives on our line. Let's upgrade one of our trains to use this new powerhouse. I'm expanding our cargo port by adding more berths. To make room for this, we'll need to dredge some of the surrounding land area. Our current crude oil well is operating at maximum output. To keep up with the growing demand, we'll need to source additional crude oil from another well. Just north of our existing crude oil well, there's another one we can utilize. I'll build a port at that location and use large ships to transport crude oil to our main oil port. From there, the crude will seamlessly transfer onto our existing oil production line. We need to prioritize upgrading our fuel refinery, which requires increasing our fuel supply. To achieve this, we can target the city of Winchcombe, located just south of Bideford, as they also have a demand for fuel. We'll establish a supply line from the fuel station to Winchcombe to meet their needs. Let's begin by setting up the rail infrastructure, starting with the construction of the cargo train station. This will serve as the foundation for efficiently transporting fuel to Winchcombe. Next, we'll connect the newly built cargo train station to the existing rail network. Before establishing the new line, let's add a second platform to the fuel refinery station. This will enable trains on different routes to operate independently, minimizing conflicts and improving overall efficiency. With the second platform in place at the fuel refinery station, we can now proceed to set up the new line connecting the fuel refinery to Winchcombe. Now, let's purchase a new train dedicated to the Winchcombe line. Let's construct a truck station in Winchcombe to serve as the fuel transfer point. From here, horse carriages can pick up the fuel and deliver it to the city. Since the line to the drop-off point is short, we can add just one horse carriage to handle the transport. Now that the stations are interconnected, we should consider redesigning the layout of the middle station for optimal efficiency. Ideally, this station should have at least 2 platforms on either side, along with 2 mainline passing tracks. This configuration will allow through trains to bypass the station without stopping, ensuring smoother traffic flow and reducing delays. I hope you enjoyed the second episode. I will see you on the next one. Until then, goodbye, take care.